I want to talk about XRP today, guys, in more of a casual video, to kind of just give my thesis on holding to retire, to become the millionaire for the first time in your family, and actually give you guys some practical plans here. I usually come out with videos on Thursday and Friday because of our future forecast, but I just want to take a day today and just share with you guys some things that I see. So I want to show you guys just a little bit behind the scenes here of what we talk about and what we call future forecast in our membership. But let me show you guys something that I see. I'm not trying to get people to FOMO in right now. That's not my objective here, but I am trying to get you to see what is happening right now and what could be playing out. I want you guys to understand that XRP seems to be repeating the 2017 cycle that originally started back in about 2014 of January. We had a 1, 2, 3 peak. This third peak ended up pushing us up, and we created a 1 and 2 touch. Let's start over. Call this R1, call this R2, call this R3. What we have been forming over the last few weeks and months is what's called a symmetrical triangle pattern. As you can see, I just mocked this up here. This is what we created over here. The assumption, and you wouldn't be wrong to assume this, is that we are going into the final stage of this bull market with the blow off top candle that we saw back in December, January of 2017-18. Now, this may not look like a lot, but if you take a look at the actual percentage increase here of what this actually looked like, it was staggering. When we broke out here to the top, it was a 1,200% return to investors, so we call it 12x. If we, kind of assume that we could see something close to that effect, I don't think we're going to see that same increase, basically because of the market cap that is required to double an asset. It's quite substantial. However, I do think, I'm going to go out on a limb here, I do think XRP has the potential to get to $20 this cycle. When I say cycle, I mean by the end of 2025, and maybe if we see the business cycle as well as QT shift to QE, we could see this maybe within Q1 of next year, okay? What I want to talk to you guys about though today, and just teach you and just have you ponder this, I'll go into this in much in-depth detail on Friday's future forecast with our members as we go over tax software as well, is this. I want some of you guys to go research this, and I'll tell you about it here. But there's a protocol called ISO 2022. You're like, Travis, I get that. And I hope you do, actually. If you invested in XRP and XLM, HBAR, all of the ISOs, you should know this protocol. Most people do not know. They don't know protocol ISO 4217, which this protocol basically states that these are currencies that are built not for stateside use. They are international use. And there's actually a code, a digital currency code assigned to certain cryptocurrencies that fall under this use case of cryptos being used as currencies to conduct transactions across borders. Do you know what those are? They are all the cryptocurrencies that start with an X, and start with an X. I don't know if you guys know this, ISO 4217. When I study and I research here what I believe is going to happen to XRP, what I believe is going to happen to XLM, and the adoption based off of the commoditization of XRP and XLM, I believe we are getting the opportunity. I did a voicemail earlier in our business chat. I said it's like buying Bitcoin at $10,000. That's not correct at all. It's like buying Bitcoin at $1,000, and maybe it's like buying Bitcoin at $100 if you guys are buying XLM under $1. If you're buying it under $1, okay? And if you're buying XRP, I would say under $5, you are literally buying Bitcoin at probably $1,000. That's the appreciation curve that we see coming. Let me teach you a little bit about institutions now. Institutional investors and the big conglomerates, they have to and they can only hold on their books what's called commodities. This is why they can hold the BTC ETF. This is why they can hold the Ethereum ETF, because they are what? Commoditized. What are we seeing with XRP? We are getting the XRP ETF, and we are going to commoditize this. Also, when the case is settled, we pretty much have a blow off top scenario. And I actually think what you are seeing right now with XRP's price action is a precursor, a front run of the release of the news of the case officially being dropped, because I believe Gary Gensler is going to be, I believe he's actually, he's going to be gone pretty soon. Okay. Let me talk about this now. I want you guys to be careful, just from somebody who's been doing this for 10 years, trading cryptocurrency, and I'm not going to go into my account. We're up hundreds of thousands of dollars this year, so just trust that there's a little bit of history here that I know what I'm talking about. I'm nervous for people to try to sell too soon. And I feel like this is not going to be taken well, so I apologize if it's not like articulated well, but please just hear my heart in this. I don't mean this to be rude to anyone or any prophetic words. I feel like, in a sense, if you sell XRP before $10, we are almost, give me grace here, guys, you're almost like spitting on the words that we've received prophetically from individuals that have a great track record of success. Brandon Briggs seeing XRP, at $10,000. Other people seeing it at $1,000. Myself having a prophetic dream, I believe, of seeing it at $29,900, a flash spike up there. So what I'm trying to explain to you guys in this video here, and we'll unpack this more, is if you are going to err on a side of either putting money into the market to use spot liquidity to exit this cycle, or if you're going to hold on what we call ledger or we call cold storage, I'm leaning more towards people holding more on their ledger than before. Because again, because of the adoption of ISO, and once we have Swift come on the XRPL. So can I take this further if you guys want to stick around? Okay, you have Swift that can add trillions of dollars. The settlements on DTCC, let's just call this like the stock market settlements. Talk about real estate. Okay, if you have all these running through what we call the XRPL, the XRP ledger, you have to have the price at a very high, standard. You can't have what we call a seismograph, because if you have trillions of dollars buying and selling, this is what's going to happen to the price of XRP. You can't have that. You must have a way to pass through trillions of dollars through XRP if it's connected to these vehicles of transportation of finance with a high market cap. So when you go through and you sell trillions of dollars, you don't affect the price that much, or else the transition from America's bank account to someone in Great Britain, the US dollar to the GBP, you're going to just collapse the market. And the way the XRP is going to work is the United States is going to buy XRP, and GBP, Great Britain, is just going to sell the XRP back into their base currency. So there's no need for Nostro and Vostro accounts. Okay, that's what XRP really does. And so as I unpack this more on Friday in the future forecast with you guys, I'm just letting you know that you may want to try to hold a little bit more XRP than you think this cycle. I understand $5 and $10 are psychological levels, but if what is coming, you are actually front running the institutions before they get their hands on this commodity, the commoditized version of XRP, just as Bitcoin and Ethereum you've seen what happened with Bitcoin's price when the institutions kicked in. Also, let me end this here. I do believe we are going to see a shift come up here in altcoins, that you are only going to see certain runners this cycle and going into the bull run because of the adoption of ISO. I think we're actually going to see a leave behind. The Lord actually spoke this to me. There will be runners and there will be those that are left behind. He was not talking about people. He was talking about certain cryptocurrencies. Because when you have XRP and XLM actually fully rotating into their adoption with ISO, and you have to go live in November of this year, you are purchasing a commodity, an asset that really, if it is implemented in these other systems, it has to continue to have income support levels like $5, $10, $100, $1,000. Because once you start passing through, think of it as a pipe, okay? I know I'm running out of room and I'm doing a lot today. Think of XRP as a pipe. Let's say you pass through $1 trillion. It has to be a certain price. I'm throwing numbers out here, guys. Do not hold me to this. $100. Then you pass through, let's say, $5 trillion. Okay, now we got to go to, let's say, $500. The more money you pass through, the higher market cap you need, so you don't have volatility in price. Right? That makes sense, right? So the more we actually adopt and we bring onto the XRPL, you are going to get what's called price support levels, because I don't think we're going to switch Swift onto XRPL and then just completely take it away. No, I think the adoption, and I think the United States and the Treasury, and I think these guys know that the pipelines have been built for XRP. So as we start putting more on the XRP level, the price is going to move up. It's then going to stay there, settle, and then the next implementation of financial flows through XRPL is going to jump us to another price. And I just want to end this by saying this cycle is going to be very tempting to sell a lot of your XRP, but I think you may want to hold on to more than you believe. And I just want to come out here today, not do a big sales presentation of what we offer, but just really give you guys some value here of what I see. I will say this shamefully, I guess, on Friday, I know today's Wednesday, but on Friday, I'm going to be doing a future forecast to talk more about this and my strategy to retire with XRP and XLM. And we're going to go over tax software to show you guys how to report all of this easy, how to go from an exchange on Coinbase to a ledger and then ledger back. I'll show that to you guys on Friday. And then I want to unpack more of this to show you guys actually a retirement plan in the coming weeks of how you can literally just hold XRP and XLM and take, in business, we call it the 4% deduction on your S&P 500 holdings, but you can actually do this on XRP and XLM where you're harvesting the majority of your XRP and XLM, but you're actually shaving some off per year to pay for your actual expenses in life while taking advantage of holding the number one appreciating asset, I believe, in the next 10 years. If you guys do this smartly in the next few months and you don't mess up this bull cycle, you are talking about generational wealth that is going to be entering into your family. So I'm going to teach all this to you guys. I'm going to show you every one of my buys and sells. That's in the future forecast. You guys can access that in the description if you would like. And I will be doing a full video run through of this this Friday, which is going to be 16th, 17th, the 18th, the future forecast. You guys can get a 25% off membership discount in the description if you'd like. And I'll show you guys every play that I'm making with my cryptocurrency. So as we end this, let me give a quick portfolio update because I know you guys like to see this. Currently, our portfolio is up for this year so far. Let me let this load here for a second. This year, we are up $758,000 in profit. Today's obviously been really nice, and we have pulled back to our bank account already $164,000. $164,000. So obviously, our account is doing very well. The Lord told me to transition out of my low caps and buy just XRP and XLM. And so we did that. And when we did that, we gained about 500% on our investments. And the Lord has been really good to us about speaking prophetically to us of how to get into the markets and having, just really getting good positions. So I'm going to share actually more of that on Friday. And I think you guys will really enjoy that. But just want to give this to you guys today just to kind of teach you about what I see and give you a little nugget of wisdom as we head into the rest of this week in this bull run. All right, guys, I'll see you on Friday's future forecast, and I hope you guys just have a really good day. All right, guys, God bless. Bye-bye.